According to the first polls, President Emmanuel Macron emerged as the winner from the big TV duel before the French elections, with a clear lead over right-wing challenger Marine Le Pen. After the debate, which lasted more than 2.5 hours, 2 out of 3 viewers thought the middle politician or the liberal center politician was the more convincing candidate, according to a survey by the Elabe Institute. It was eagerly awaited whether the two opponents would afford insults and personal attacks as they did in the duel before the 2017 presidential election. However, the debate remained mostly factual, even if both dealt hard against the opponent. A rather tight race is predicted for Sunday's runoff. The electorate is divided, and many left-wing voters actually don't want to vote for either of the two. They want a completely different policy. Both applicants compete for this group. In the duel in 2017, Le Pen thoroughly embarrassed herself. It was therefore important for her to appear more serious and presidential. She was particularly friendly at the beginning of the duel, beamed into the cameras and did not interrupt Macron. In the debate, Macron had to avoid appearing arrogant and elitist at all costs. Instead of laughing at Le Pen's answers, he acted serious and mimed the thoughtful listener. He also acknowledged shortcomings during his tenure. Macron's listening poses, head propped up, mouth slightly pouting, were immediately converted into a number of memes. Le Pen held up a printed tweet sparking amusement. The note was immediately redesigned on the social networks, and something like "Vote for Macron on Sunday" was written on it. And I saw some with Putin friends and stuff like that. 8 topics were selected on which Macron and Le Pen should position themselves. The speaking time of the two was meticulously kept in view. One topic was Europe. While Macron committed to Franco-German cooperation and to anchoring France in the European Union, Le Pen made it clear that she wants to fundamentally change the EU. She is concerned with more national competences. Macron accused her of still wanting to leave the EU, but not saying so openly. Then there was the topic, the Ukraine war. Le Pen and Macron largely agreed that aid should continue to be given to Kiev. However, Le Pen spoke out against an import ban on Russian gas, while Macron is counting on energy independence from Russia. Macron also accused his opponent of being dependent on Kremlin chief Vladimir Putin. Then there was the topic environment and energy. France is a nuclear country. Macron advocated the construction of more power plants, but at the same time wants to promote renewable energies, especially offshore wind farms. Le Pen, on the other hand, considers wind turbines to be ecologically and economically nonsensical, wants to have existing systems dismantled, and relies on nuclear power alone. Then there was the topic of purchasing power. The key issue of the election campaign was the lead of the debate. Although Le Pen had skillfully occupied the topic for weeks, she was unable to assert herself clearly against Macron in the debate. Among other things, she proposed a reduction in VAT on energy and the elimination on taxes on 100 basic everyday products. Macron is betting on further reducing unemployment and capping gas and electricity prices. Then there was the topic, the disputed issue of pensions. From a German perspective here, people in France retire comparatively early. Le Pen wants to keep the retirement age of 62 years. Those who start their careers at a young age should be allowed to retire at 60. Macron wants to raise the retirement age to 65 with a few exceptions. With increasing life expectancy, the pension system must be counter-financed, he argues. And then there was the eternal bickering about the headscarf. In schools and in public administration, the headscarf is banned in France for reasons of neutrality. Le Pen now called for a headscarf ban everywhere in public space. Macron considers this to be incompatible with freedom of religion and the constitution, and fears a civil war if the headscarf were actually banned in residential areas. "Don't say stupid things and don't teach me lessons," were just some of the concise sentences that fell in the duel. Both applicants were particularly insistent towards the end. Macron also made the election a vote on Europe, climate, laicism, that is, a referendum for or against what we are fundamentally. Le Pen, on the other hand, promised a return of common sense should she win. And I only can say about her win, God forbid. And I'll see you in my next video. Bis gleich.